No problem.
All right, I believe everybody's here and we're ready. Bob, did you want to start us off with a question?
Sure. I guess this is for Lance first. I know you got the 10K, big event Thursday night. Just wonder who all do you have going in the 10K and the steeple, and maybe who might be doubling in the distances?
Yeah, we're loading the distances up to be able to stay competitive in this meet. We have to fire on all cylinders. So Sydney Thorvaldsen, our really good freshman, and Isabel Van Camp will lead our charges in the 10,000. We'll have 4 entries, but those 2 are probably, we're putting a lot of faith in that they'll take care of the challenge. Doubling wise, we have a lot of doublers. Lauren Gregory is going to run the 1500 for the first time this year, except for the relay situation in Penn. So she'll run the 15.5. Isabel is going to run the 10 and 5. Chrissy Gear is going to run the steeple and the 15. Logan Jolly is going to run steeple 5. So yeah, we're trying to maximize our scoring potential as far as the middle distances as best we possibly can. Kennedy Thompson's going to run the 8 and the 15, which is a very tough double at the SEC meet.
And I guess Brighton Wilson, I know she's got top times in the 400 and 400 meters. Will she double in those, or is that asking?
She will. Yeah, she's going to have her work cut out as well. Chris Johnson has been experimenting with her the last 2 competitions to see how well she handles it. And if last weekend was any reflection of her ability, she just did a fantastic job of running 50 point in the quarter and then coming back in the 400 meter hurdles an hour later and running 55 point. She's an exceptional talent, to say the least.
And you guys have won, I don't know, something crazy like 19 of the last 20 of these SECs, indoors, outdoors, cross country. 20. Well, I lost track of what it is. Sean probably knows what it is.
Sean keeps the numbers for me. I don't know, Sean, where we stand. 23.
I want to say it's 21 and 22, but I'll double check that and see.
Okay. And I guess Florida went outdoors. I don't know. Somehow you guys let them win outdoors a few years ago. Maybe the commissioner made you do that or something.
Yeah, that was when Talia Brooks was eligible, and we were trying to protect Talia for the national meet. And so we backed way off with her and some others, thinking that we were outsmarting the competition and prep for the national meet. And that backfired as well. So we kind of let that one go, and now we've been in business ever since.
So yeah, what do you think about your chances of keeping that going? What do you have to do?
Well, we traditionally I could tell you guys, it was going to be a battle because I always had an extra 20 points in my pocket. I learned that from John McDonald because he always was never the favorite in a championship, yet he win by 70. This year, we're actually this week moved up to number 5 in the nation, and there are still 3 teams in the SEC ahead of us. So Florida A&M and LSU have exceptional teams, to say the least, nationally. But this year, they also happen to have great conference teams as well. So we're going to have a battle again to try to neutralize those 3. Florida's the defending national indoor champ. They've got a lot of pride and they're running really, really well. LSU almost got us indoors this year as well as outdoors last year. And their team's even better this year than it was last year. And then A&M has really gotten a lot of momentum since indoor to really have an exceptional team. It'll be the same thing as it's been in the past. You got to score 100 points. If you can score 100, you're going to win the meet. So parity is really starting to neutralize across the SEC field. And every one of those points will be a battle. There's no forgiveness whatsoever. And we just got the lineup of the heat sheets for men and women. And same thing. It's everybody's going after it. It doesn't matter if you're going to score 5 points at the conference meet, you're going to do anything you can to get those 5. So, we're kind of in a unique situation that we're shooting for 100, but none of them will come easy.
I mean, how good do you feel about your all's chances? I mean, do you feel good you guys will win again?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the conversation. It could very well come down to the mile relay again. The 5,000's right before it. The 5,000 is one of our key events. But, one of the best in the United States is at Alabama. There's always somebody chipping away at us. And again, I tell you the story that years ago, the South Carolina coach said, this crap has got to stop. Maybe he used other words. But all of us need to go get a distance runner and neutralize the men and women as best they possibly could. And everybody took it to heart. I don't know why they're following his lead, but they don't listen to him any other time. But they did on that particular venture.
And then Doug, I know you guys have had some injuries with the sprinters. How are you guys health-wise, and what all is Aiden going to do at the meet?
Yeah, I mean, we're a little banged up, but I feel like we've made some progress here in the last couple of weeks. And, I think some young guys that have been here in the program for only a year, that they have to figure out how this works. And we work really hard, and I'm trying to lighten up on them to let them have a new life here at the end of the year. And I think some of them feel pretty good. So we could come back around with that group and they could feel better. Aiden's not going to do the multi-event this for the conference meet. He is, however, going to run on the 4x1, the 4x4, and the high hurdles. So he's got a great mark in the hurdles. He's got an excellent opportunity to score in that event, and I really think he makes both of our relays pretty competitive, because he is one great athlete, unbelievable athlete.
I guess James Benson, is he healthy? And if so, what all will he do?
James is not going to run at the conference meet. He still has that hamstring thing going on, and I really don't think we're going to see him the rest of the season, quite honestly. So with him out, I mean, he's obviously a great 400-meter runner that can score at the NCAA meet and definitely score at the SEC meet. And he hurts us a little bit, but we'll have some guys, as we always do. Guys need to come in there and step up and get it done, and I expect them to do that.
And then from a sprint standpoint, who might you be doubling, whether relays, open stuff?
Most of our 400-meter runner guys will be open 4x4, and then you've got like Roman Turner, who will run the 100 and then run the 4x1. Freshman Connor Washington will run the 200 and the 4x1, and he has a chance to be on the 4x4. At the end of the day, all depends on how he feels. The good thing about the 4x4 is the last event, so everybody gets to do all their stuff, and then you get to go evaluate individuals and say, how do you feel? How did you look? You can evaluate how they looked, and you can make a decision at the end of the meet. And many times it does not end up being the 4 who you thought were going to run it originally.
Okay, I made a couple more. I'll turn it back to Sean. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bob. And it's at SEC Indoor, that was the 22nd of the last 23 on the women's side. Courtney, did you have a question?
Yeah, Coach, this can be for both coaches, but Coach Harter, because we kind of just touched on the difficulties of traveling this year. Does it matter to go to Oxford for this meet? Does that mean anything for you guys? Is the track a little bit different? What challenges does going to Mississippi bring for you guys?
No, I think, we follow a rotation amongst all the SEC schools, and it's been a long time since we've been back at Oxford. They built a new facility the last time we were there. It's been upgraded since then. From what I could tell by our technical meeting we had yesterday, they're really trying to do a great job of hosting. I think the biggest change or adaptation that the men and women will go through is we have springboarded from winter to summer in the last 2 days. I ran this morning. It's the first time I've run with a short sleeve shirt. It's just one of those weather situations, and I blame Dan Scott for it. That we should he should have planned this better for us. But we've had is just wind and cold, and I think that's true for almost everybody except maybe an LSU and a Florida. It's just been chilly, and then all of a sudden we springboard to 90 degrees. So that will be a factor, and there's a lot of technique in regards to how we prepare for that, especially for the distance crew, and then the sprint crews as well, when they're having to carry a double or a triple in a relatively tight frame of time. So yeah, the heat, I think, is going to be the biggest factor, heat and humidity.
I agree. I think I was thinking the very same thing, that we just are being thrown into this high 80s, low 90-degree weather. And we've probably had the worst overall spring training season since I've been here 14 years. So, I don't know what to expect. I think we may be a team that gets better over the next 6 weeks as we move in to, the nationals and then the national finals and stuff. So the weather really dictates, even though we have a great indoor facility that we did use, it's just not the same being in there as it is out here. And I honestly feel like our training suffered a little bit, but I do think we came back around late. We got a couple of weeks here that helped us, and I expect we can be better and better as we move into the NCAA meet.
Perfect. And this one's for Coach Harter, because you guys moved up in those rankings, do you feel a little bit like there's always a target on your back for these big meets, especially like you said, this year is more unique than others where there is multiple SEC teams in that top 5. I mean, what does that mean for you guys? Do you think about that? Does it fuel you? How does it, help or hurt?
Well, I think it's been 7 years since anybody else has won a SEC title. So yeah, we have kind of wore out our pleasantness, I guess. They're real tired of Arkansas being at the top and grabbing the trophies. So yeah, I think there's a lot of momentum by the 13 other schools that would love to see Arkansas get knocked off. And that's kind of been a tradition on the men's side as well, because Coach McDonald irritated the heck out of everybody for a long time. And so, yeah, anytime they can pop Arkansas men or women, they're really excited about it.
Well, I was going to apologize for us going for only our second Triple Crown in a row. So that's what you do to us.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Anybody else with a question?
I had a couple more.
All right, Bob.
Lance, following up on Braden Wilson, I mean, I know she was at Tennessee last year, so I guess she's a COVID freshman or whatever, however you want to put that. But has she surprised you, the impact she's had for you guys so quickly?
Very much. Well, partly, she was the #1 high school hurdler coming out her senior year of high school. So she was definitely a phenom. Got recruited to the Vols, and their formula for training just didn't work. And she lost confidence. She really started second guessing herself about her future in track and field and so on. And finally, her and her family collaborated and said, maybe we need to make a change. And then you finally make that decision. Then you got to figure out where you're going to go, because you can't make another mistake. And she really liked the way Chris Johnson coaches the 400-meter hurdles, and having someone like Shamir Little here, one of the top 400-meter hurdlers in the world, I think helped sell that. And then, she's come in and she has a great work ethic. She's incredibly poised in spite of her youth as a competitor. And the results have just been mind-boggling.
And talking about, the heat and the humidity, do you just sort of tell your runners you have to pull back a little bit on your pace, or, got to make sure I know you always want them to be hydrated and take care of themselves, but how do you deal with that? I mean, so they're not breaking down at the end of a race or having trouble doubling.
Yeah, I think it's a situation where in the distances, men and women, they're going to be respectful of the conditions. The SEC has some very strict guidelines on how to be safe in a hot, humid environment, and so we'll follow those patterns. And then as coaches, we use some different formulas. We call it the cocktail, but they do some different things that helps with retaining hydration and ultimately get them ready to compete. And yeah, I think the distances will probably be slower than a lot of the times that these kids came in with, strictly with respect to the heat and humidity.
And then Doug, I mean, you guys, like I say, you guys are going for your second Triple Crown. Just kind of what's the team mindset going in? Do you feel like you guys are the team to beat, or how do y'all feel about that?
I mean, I think there's more depth this year in the SEC than I've seen since I've been in the SEC, and that's 14 years. And I mean, throughout the league, everyone has good people on their team this year, and it shows up in the national rankings, and it's going to show up, I think, when we get to this meet this weekend, and you're going to see unbelievable performances throughout, from the distance races all the way to the sprints, the throws. Everything is really deep, and it's just a very difficult meet. With that being said, I mean, we're going to be in it to win it, and we just need to do what we do and fight to the end, which is what we always do. We get in that thing and give it everything we've got. I do know, scoring it out, Alabama looks really strong. They have a lot of depth in the distances, and then they have pretty much somebody in almost every event, and the throws are really deep, and they look like the team to beat to me right now. We're going to go in there and give them a battle, though.
And then Philip, he's obviously had a really good season. I assume he'll run on one, if not both relays, and do the hurdles. What's his weekend look like?
He'll be on the 4x1. He'll run just the 110 hurdles. I don't think he'd like it on the 4x4 right now. I haven't really trained him for that. So, not that he couldn't do it, but he is he's a mainstay in that 4x1. I got him anchoring it, and he's starting to come around right now. Really, to me, I think, again, I hate to blame everything on the weather, but I feel like right now that we just got things going, and he actually looked really good today in practice. And I think putting Aiden on that 4x1 is going to help that thing feel better. The guys run 10:27 in the open 100, so he's very fast, and he's gonna help pick us up. And I think guys are gonna feel good about that, going into that relay.
Obviously, decathletes or heptathletes, they have certain events they're strong in, but can you remember too many guys like Aiden who can score well in SEC meet? I mean, he's not gonna just go in there and maybe, let's see if he can get us a fifth or sixth. He's a guy that can finish pretty high in individual events. I mean, what do you think about his ability to do that?
That guy he's a great athlete, obviously. And if you can come in as a multi-event and score in anything in the SEC, that proves that you're very good at that event. And I honestly, I think he's got a great shot to score in the hurdles, and he could probably score in some other events for us if we wanted to do that to him. But the reality is he's got to do a decathlon at the end of the year here. And that's a very competitive event, obviously, at the NCAA level. And we're trying to make him be ready for that, feel fresh, and control his training so that when we get to that point, he has a great shot to be national champion again.
And Lance, I meant to ask you about the pole vault. You guys obviously are loaded up in the pole vault. How big an event is that for you guys?
No, pole vault is always kind of the hub of the wheel in the respect that we never take them for granted. We have 4 that can score. Hopefully, again, as Doug was saying, every event this year is just more loaded than ever before. And somebody explained to me that there's 20% of the population that are eligible that are added to, the depth of all these programs, because they're fifth year or sixth year seniors that stuck around, weren't good enough to go pro yet, but still want to continue to get an opportunity to compete. And so, across the board, every event is just depth laden with incredible talent and experience. So that makes everything very lethal. And I'll say that very few freshmen, if you're a true freshman, you're going to have a real tough time scoring in this conference because there's just so much maturity.
And then Doug, I mean, not that Georgia was a team threat probably, but yeah, Garland told us Saturday he's not competing at the SEC meet.
Yeah, and they're doing a little bit to him what we're doing for Aiden. It sounds like, they're trying to get him set up for the NCAA meet. And, we have to do things like that. There are sacrifices, you have to make as a team and as coaches for an individual to do what they have to do. And with a guy, when you have someone as good as these guys, Garland and obviously Aiden, you're trying to peak them at the right time. And for us, that means peak at the NCAA meet. So they're doing basically the same thing we're doing with him.
Yeah, except Aiden's doing stuff though,
Yeah. And I mean,
Cal just did a decathlon too. I totally get it. I just mean it sort of goes to show maybe the differing team approaches because, Georgia, I mean, it's great. He's going to the Worlds and Aiden's already qualified for that and all that. I just mean it's an interesting dynamic to me that one guy is maybe their best athlete didn't compete because of the circumstance. I mean, he just competed at the USA's and Aiden didn't have to do that. I know he did a little bit at your all's qualifier there, but
well, you have to weigh the odds of your team score at this meet, at the conference meet. So, we feel like we're in it to win it, and if Aiden can help us, and he can help us, then he wants to help us too, and you have to take advantage of that.
Okay, I'm good.
Anybody else with a question? Coach Case, I was just ask one about your group, especially with the newcomers and the people that transferred in and how they kind of meshed as the season went on, but just the importance of Brandon Battle and Connor Washington now as you get to the outdoor conference meet.
Yeah, those are two really good freshmen that came into here this year, and they had to learn the ropes a little bit. And I feel like here at the end of the year, they're going to come back around and start to feel good again. That freshman year is long and hard. You're just not used to the intensity level. You're not used to the duration every day out here for basically 8-9 months, and I think those two are going to kind of feel better here at the end of the season, which is what we want from them.
And Coach Harter, a different aspect with you, especially with the seniors that you were honoring this past Friday, the group and what they mean to you as going into their last SEC outdoor championships this season.
It's a sad moment for myself and the rest of the coaching staff to have that much success over the period of time that they've been here is truly exceptional. A lot of those conference titles as well as national titles were built around them. And, unfortunately, they eventually choose to graduate and move on in life, which is unfortunate for coaches. But, we just hope that they've educated the youth of tomorrow about the demands that it takes to be successful as a Razorback.
Thank you. If no other questions, thank you everybody for your time today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
That's
you.
Ellen. How is it, Lance and Doug? Do you guys just shove everything off your desk before these Zooms, or how do your desks look so clean?
Yeah.
I'm in Buck's office, so this is.
Oh, okay. Well, here, I don't know if you guys see this. Is my desk. You guys see that?
Now, every
That's-
once in a while, ours looks
That's-
like that.
That's a working desk there I got, you know.
Yes, it is.
Put it off onto the floor or something, so it looked nice for the Zoom. I don't know.
We try to hide it any way we can.
Okay. I just wondered about that. 'Cause it looks so pristine.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, good luck
Thanks,
down there.
guys.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Thank
guys. Good luck.
Call anytime.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.